Ask most Doggies fans and players and they'll tell you that the Good Friday clash against the Rabbitohs is becoming as important and as intense as a game against our traditional rivals, the Parramatta Eels. But how did it get here? And why is this game breaking records? Every Good Friday, two of rugby league's most passionate fan bases converge at Accor Stadium for a clash that's become a staple of the NRL calendar. What started as a way to bring in the Easter long weekend has not only become a rivalry, but is growing into a feud. As you can see from this grainy footage, the Good Friday clash started way back in 2012 when both teams, and indeed the NRL, was almost a completely different sport. The Bulldogs had a barber and the Rabbitohs had an Inglis. So let's go back to where it all began in 2012. With the Rabbitohs claiming a 20-10 victory in front of over 35,000 fans. In 2013, the rivalry intensified as a record-breaking crowd of 51,686 witnessed South Sydney edge out the Bulldogs 17-12, marking the largest regular season attendance in NRL history at the time. The Rabbitohs scored 3 tries to the Bulldogs 2, with Adam Reynolds adding 2 goals and a field goal. But where the rivalry really gained a life of its own was in 2014. The Good Friday clash, which was watched by over 41,000 people in attendance, had some absolutely amazing moments that will live in the memories of both Bulldogs and Rabbitohs fans. Who can forget this absolutely incredible run by Sam Burgess straight into the meat of the Bulldogs' defence? But more impressively, Bulldogs fans will forever remember that being the moment that Ennis proved he was one of the most courageous players we had ever seen. It was also the year the Bulldogs finally secured their first Good Friday win, and it was in dramatic fashion. Trailing 8-0 at halftime, they mounted a comeback, culminating in this 78th minute field goal by Trent Hodkinson to clinch a 15-14 victory. Bad Friday. The 2015 encounter, infamously dubbed Bad Friday, saw the Rabbitohs snatch an 18-17 win in the grand final rematch after a controversial late penalty after James Graham attempted a charge down. David Klemmer was sin-binned for arguing with Gerard Sutton about the penalty, which ultimately gave the Rabbitohs a 1-point win. The decision sparked outrage among Bulldogs players and fans, leading to on-field confrontations and crowd disturbances that resulted in lifetime bans for some supporters. It remains one of the most chaotic and memorable finishes in modern NRL history. The referees were pelted with bottles as they left through the tunnel after the match. Gerard Sutton has never been forgiven for the way he handled those final few moments, and dare I say, has been blamed for many of the later Good Friday losses which he officiated. While this incident left a sour taste in people's mouths, the way the game ended, as well as the 1-point win by the Rabbitohs, only served to stoke the fire of rivalry between the Bulldogs and the Rabbitohs. In 2016, the Bulldogs delivered a commanding performance, dismantling the Rabbitohs 42-12. They dominated possession and territory, leading 32-0 at halftime, with Josh Morris celebrating his 200th NRL game by scoring 2 tries. The following year, Canterbury continued their strong form, defeating South Sydney 24-9. Second-half tries from Josh Jackson, Kerrod Holland and Josh Morris secured the victory, marking the Bulldogs' 3rd win in 4 Good Friday clashes. The downfall. From 2018 onwards, the Rabbitohs turned the tide. In 2018, they staged a late comeback to win 20-16, scoring 2 tries in the final 7 minutes. The 2019 match was a gritty affair, with South Sydney prevailing 14-6 in a game where no points were scored in the second half. In 2021, the Rabbitohs achieved the largest winning margin in the fixtures history, thrashing the Bulldogs 38-0. The Bulldogs were in the pits of their depressed era and only won 3 games that whole year. The following year was no better for the Bulldogs as Trent Barrett's team struggled to put together any attack. Damien Cook scored the first hat-trick of his career as Souths ran out 36-16 winners. No matter how hard the Bulldogs tried, they kept scoring try after try after try after try. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you like the content and like this video if you're enjoying it. Thank you. Now, back to Good Friday. In 2023, the Bulldogs came out on fire, scoring on the first set with the ball. The fans thought we were going to make this one count. But after the Fox went down injured, the Bulldogs faded away and the Rabbitohs reached another level. Latrell Mitchell, playing in his 150th game, and Campbell Graham both scored hat-tricks in a 50-16 demolition job. South Sydney were unstoppable, and the scoreline was a brutal reflection of just how far apart the two sides had become. In 2024, the Bulldogs showed more fight. They pushed Souths all the way, but once again fell short, going down 20-16. At halftime, Josh Addo-Carr was illegally tackled by Latrell Mitchell, but Gerard Sutton had other ideas and deemed the play legal. Fox was unable to return, and this was the second time in 2 years that Fox got injured during Good Friday. Jack Whiten scored twice, and Latrell Mitchell added 2 penalty goals. Curtis Morin was sent to the bin for a tackle that was less dangerous than the Latrell Mitchell tackle on Fox. And even though we came home with a wet sail, it was not meant to be. It was South Sydney's 6th straight win on Good Friday. As we approach the 2025 Good Friday clash, anticipation builds. The Bulldogs are eager to flip the narrative, having not defeated Souths in this fixture since 2017. With a young core featuring names like Stephen Crichton and Matt Burton, and a coach in Cameron Ciraldo who is confident in his troops and having won 5 in a row, the Bulldogs will be raring to go. Meanwhile, South Sydney come in with momentum and a settled spine. Cody Walker is still pulling the strings, Latrell Mitchell remains the X-factor, and Jai Gray is lighting it up at fullback. They know what it takes to win on Good Friday, and they've proven it 6 years running. This isn't just another regular season game, it's a public holiday tradition, a fan event, a game that both sets of players circle on the calendar. The Bulldogs want redemption. The Rabbitohs want to keep their streak alive, and every year it delivers fireworks. Tradition, passion, and fierce competition define the Bulldogs versus Rabbitohs. Good Friday clashes. As history has shown, anything can happen when these two titans meet. This is more than a rivalry. It's Good Friday footy. Don't miss it. If you liked our content and want to see more, please be sure to subscribe and share our content with everyone that is excited about this Good Friday clash.